Got a comment on one of my videos from klreeveswms. He had asked me to do a video on my thoughts on the Chromebook, and I had originally thought that I'd done that, but looking through, I had a video on how Chromebooks would benefit people who are blind in the workplace, and also how the possibility of me actually buying one. This was back when they first came out. 6 months have passed. I've gone through my first online courses, and next term all of my courses will be online. My education comes first, and through the past 6 months I was able to do a lot of stuff on Linux, but I ended up switching back to the Mac for iMovie, and a lot of the assignments that I didn't necessarily have to utilize the software up front, but nothing was available for Linux. And the same can be said with Chromebooks, and the reason I say that is because, well, what's available for the web? A lot, right? Well, here's the catch. From an instructor point of view, if your lesson, and it doesn't just have to be K through 12, it could be higher ed, it could be a customized course, one of those like walk in and pay for, like a DMV type thing, say a course in driving, anything. If the course were online and that were to go poof and you didn't have a backup plan because you don't have any other technology to fall back on, then what? That's the main problem that I have with these Chromebooks over the last 6 months. I just don't think that we're ready to completely rely on cloud computing. And this is coming from somebody who felt that cloud computing, I can't remember when I was saying this, but that I felt that cloud computing was going to take off. Now, I'm a person who knows when he's defeated and knows when to eat crow. And right now, I am eating crow because, there are a lot of people who are switching to cloud computing, but a fair amount are also not. I'm actually one of those who's not. And let me explain why. And this is the problem that I have with Chromebooks. Again, if it goes down, what are you going to do? You need to have that local storage as a backup. And a lot of people are thinking, well, you could just get the 3G and use Verizon's data plan. Well, for those of you who are familiar with the net neutrality debate that was going down and might still be going down, I haven't heard anything as of late. But if I remember correctly, Verizon is trying their hardest to control what you can and cannot do over their network. So, and the reason I bring up Verizon specifically is because Verizon is who Google have contracted with to provide the 3G service for the Chromebooks. And that bugs me. So my thoughts essentially on the Chromebooks after having heard these having heard these statements, I really don't see a lot of people being ready for it. Because we don't have readily available secure internet. I mean, we do in certain places, but the thing is, Starbucks, airports. I'm not going to say hotels because I've been to a few hotels where they require you to have a key and it changes every month. Same with a local library up near my vacation home. But a lot of places, public open networks, and those are dangerous. Those are dangerous because anybody that knows what they're doing can come in and sniff out your information, and you would never know that they were doing it. Shoot, I can't remember who. Somebody I'm subscribed to put up a video on an application that you can download for Android that does just this. And the problem is, you don't need to be technically savvy to do it. So, that's what bugs me about relying on the web, because you have no fallback. You have no fallback if something happens. So, and this is coming from somebody, again, who I honestly thought Chromebooks would take off, especially for the enterprise and the education market. Those are the two that Google is really catering towards. Now, in terms of those two, you could probably build a localized server and route your connection through that so that there's no way, essentially, they could get, say, outside of the corporation, and you could have a heavily customized environment where, yes, it's the web, but at the same time, you're only working with your company's programs or your school's programs, try to keep the bad stuff out. But for the consumer side of things, I just don't see this as a viable option now, and I really hope that that we don't go 100% to cloud computing, because again, if we take a look at the whole net neutrality debate, and for those of you who are not familiar with it, what's going on is, I remember there was a whole bunch of hodgepodge of this over the summer, about this over the summer. Verizon is essentially trying to control what you can and cannot. They want to regulate your experience over the internet and primarily drive it towards their services. The iPhone, for instance, is the only phone that doesn't require you to sign up for their services in order to use a feature. The latest business about them acquiring and controlling, word is they may end up buying Netflix. Now, I don't know what the latest word on that is, but you see where I'm going with this? My thoughts on Chromebooks is that they are not ready for the masses, and I honestly hope that they never will be, in the sense that you won't be able to rely on them as your primary system. I feel that it's just too dangerous. You know? There are way too many opportunities to be exploited, whether be it through tracking, which unfortunately with Google Chrome, you cannot completely disable. Why? Because Google makes their money off of tracking you in order to facilitate advertisements. Okay? But no, those are my thoughts. That's my thoughts on the Chromebooks. I just don't think that they're a viable solution right now, and I hope that we don't get to the point of needing to rely 100% on the cloud, because given the business with net neutrality, and again, like I told you, you can get that software application for Android, use it to sniff out people's passwords, for instance. If you don't believe me, I remember, shoot, I can't remember, what was it? I can't remember who put up the video. It's in my favorites. If you scroll down through my favorites, you'll be able to get it. It's going to be a ways down, because I remember favoriting it a while back. But look for that video. I think it was a review of the application. Oh, now I remember what it was. If you search for a review of the application called Cloak for iOS, you'll be able to take a look. I think it was either Zolotech or BB's iPod Touch Help or was it either or Snazzy iPhone Guy, someone along those lines who demonstrated it and brought to light that application. And when I saw that, I was like, whoa. And if you rely completely on the web and you have no choice but to rely on a connection, what is your fallback? Now, as I understand it, there have been major, there's supposed to be push to integrate more local storage. I haven't seen it. I haven't had any word of it. Plus, the original hardware is crappy. To my understanding, the keyboard feels like mush on the Samsung Series 5. Now, I can't just go into a Best Buy and play around with it, because it's just not available as a demo unit, and that is another big weakness with this. My view is, if you can't go in and actually see it for yourself before buying it, the only exception is specialist assistive technologies, because in that market you really can't. Particularly for the blind, you just can't go into quote-unquote a retail store and pick up this stuff. It's too small a market to effectively have a nationwide network of retail stores per se. There are some states that do, but most of them do not. That's the only exception. So I think for something more generalized, more mainstream, like a Chromebook, not having a demonstration unit in the stores, even if you do have to purchase it online, not having a demo unit in the stores really bothers me. But I just don't see this as a viable option right now. Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome, and have a nice day.